I would love to share today the results of my doctoral capstone on psychological safety in diverse teams. So let's roll. If I can get my slides to go, let's see. So first, wanted to share that I did this research with 13 leaders in the financial services industry. It was qualitative research. And I was looking for strategies on how to create psychological safety. And what I discovered is that leader, really, the bottom line is they have to be an inclusive leader. So they shared with me all kinds of strategies I would love to share with you. But first, let's talk about what is psychological safety. It's the belief that no team member will be penalized or face repercussions for expressing their ideas, asking a question, challenging someone, even their leader, discussing and debating things, and so that everyone feels comfortable in taking that personal risk. That's the definition of psychological safety. So what did leaders tell us? And again, this is leaders telling us what they do, but really this could apply to your own team, even if you're not the leader, or your family, right? Family and friends. So what my research showed is that there's 4 themes that when leaders create psychological safety, what are those buckets, right? The first one was inclusion and belonging. How do they create inclusion and belonging? Well, they ensure that they bring in all the voices in the discussions and the debates, and that includes decisions. They invite people intentionally. They solicit ideas. They encourage people to share diverse ideas and to help everybody on the team broaden their perspectives. But they also amplify marginalized voices. So that was one of the keys of my research, is that when I did a literature review, there was hardly any research that focused on marginalized identities. So that's things like people of color, people from the LGBTQ community, introverts, and disabled people and things like that. So anybody who's historically marginalized, I specifically asked them, what do they do? So they also said that they acknowledge and affirm all these diverse backgrounds and identities, and they encourage everyone to share a perspective. So what that means for you as a team member is that you can be a good listener, you cannot interrupt other people, and also protect other people from interrupting others. You can share your ideas freely. You can amplify the voices that might get quashed. You can encourage your teammates to share, and you can acknowledge when experiences outside of the realm could be important. For example, if you know a team member had some experience in their past, you could encourage them to bring it up, and it might be relevant. The second theme was connection and recognition. So leaders use their emotional intelligence to address individual needs and challenges. And it's something that they either already had worked on or were natural at. And it's something that I talked about emotional intelligence about a year ago to this group. And if you want some additional resources on how to build that, you can email me or something like that. But leaders also foster connection. They encourage social connection by helping people connect either during work or outside work, even if it's a virtual team or an in-person team. They, for example, start meetings with engagement questions like, how was your weekend? Or did you see the big game? Or something like that. And they also do team building activities. Here's another one. They recognize contributions in the way that is meaningful to the person. So one leader told me everybody on our team would call in sick when we had a recognition event because they didn't want to walk across the stage and shake the hand of the CEO. That was terrifying to them. Whereas I would love that because I'm an extrovert. So it was really important to know how each person wanted to be recognized. So you as a team member can work on your own EQ with a deliberate practice. You can build relationships with your teammates, get to know them, and you can share with your leader what recognition you like and don't like. The next theme was facilitated learning. So the leaders promoted continuous learning. They integrated that personalized development plan in with learning. They encouraged growth opportunities. They facilitated open knowledge sharing. They used technology and transparency to share freely. They also encouraged problem solving by, they would sort of attack the status quo, like say, why are we doing it this way, right? So you as a team member, you make sure to have a personal development plan, that things that you want to work on to get better, but also share your knowledge. Don't hold information. Be thoughtful when you challenge assumptions and the status quo. Be respectful. Be encouraging to help others to share. So this is what you can do as a teammate. The last theme was equity in action. So leaders were very clear about setting rules of engagement, boundaries, modeling respect, and supporting risk-taking. They also distributed assignments fairly, not just always to their favorite person or to the same people for those administrative tasks. They rotated them, right? They also gave feedback that was timely and respectful. And they looked at everything with an equity lens by looking at what their actions were, their processes, their policies, and their decisions with that equity lens. Now, you as a team member can support risk-taking by being curious and not judging other people, right? Bring your learnings to the team when you learn a big thing, share it with everybody, and being respectful. And when things don't seem fair, ask a question. Ask about the assumptions. Peel apart the status quo in a respectful way. Also helps to give timely feedback if your teammates are open to it, and be on the lookout for bias. Ask, why do we do things that way? What else can we try? So for your question, for your breakouts, I would like you to think about what is one thing you could do to foster psychological safety in your team or your family or your friends. And also, I think Joseph is going to put some things in the chat. If you want more information about this research, I'd be happy to share it with your team. If you would like a link to the executive summary, if you would like I think he's going to put a link to this deck, because the last page is a summary of everything that I just talked about.